So, um, I saw a video by my good friend. I'm not going to say his actual name on here. Um, Although I've screwed up and said it before on other channels, and this is going to be a very odd video for this channel. But a good friend Gambler, who I've known for years, um, and concerning devotional devotional professions. Um, Such as creeds. We share all the same dogmas down to a T, as does um, uh, Ruth is Rachel, Gretchen Esquivel, Allison Joy, Archbishop Lazar Pahalo. Um, every dogma we all know, and we all would express belief in that, and cry anathema at all the abominations. Um, and consider the same thing's heresy and not heresy. So I don't think this is stepping on I rewatched after I watched Gman's video about Matt Dillahunty and Fiona. I then rewatched Gambler's video twice, and I don't think I'm stepping on any of his toes. Because what we're commanded to do, what are the works that we're commanded to do under the church, or even just according to the entirety of the New Testament? Baptism and the Eucharist, and that's it. And everything flows from that, and that's will eventually become like Christ, right? But those actually aren't two different things. It's all just one thing. But then again, Orthodoxy can't be explained without gnosis, so there's no communicating it really. I'm going to have to disagree with Gman, Fiona, and Matt Dillahunty. First of all, Matt Dillahunty. Ireland, the Scots, which were from what is now Ulster, and went over to Pictland and Scoticized, Celticized the Picts, who are now known as Scots, even though they are not Scots in the original sense. The Gaelic Church, which was started by, it's remembered as Patrick and Columba and St. Bridget, the missionaries that went over there, when they brought the church with them, and this is before any schisms, even the Oriental schism, or even the Nestorian one. So it was just one church, one quote-unquote Catholic, but not Roman Catholic. But the Roman Catholic will claim this as their heritage, so it's all one at that point. Even the Protestants would recognize the Catholic Church at that time. Within a generation, less than a generation, slavery was completely abolished from the island. In order to become a Christian, you had to free your slaves. In order for a king to convert to Christianity, he had to outlaw slavery in his realm. And because of the adoption of Christianity, or the church, not just Christianity, because of the church, and it wasn't ruled by the Roman bishop, it wasn't the Latin church, it was the Gaelic church, still in full union with the Greeks and the Romans, although it wound up getting, the Dark Ages communication wound up breaking down. On its own, through the beliefs and attitudes of the church, roads were built. Literacy came upon the island, and it expanded. You had roads, you had Greek thought, you had Aristotle and Socrates, you had them learning Greek and Latin and setting up libraries and schools and refuges for the needy. And then when they got to the edge of the north, to where Pictland is, modern day Scotland, what did they do? Did they conquer? No, they went over there with a message of peace. And as well as in Ireland, human sacrifice ended, exposure of infants ended, and to the Picts, they Scottish-ized them, they Irish-ized them, and brought literacy, roads, ended human sacrifice, ended animal sacrifice. They didn't destroy the culture at all. Actually, they incorporated many things. The Celtic cross is a sign of this. Many of the ancient sacred places, you could still carry out those rituals. They were redeemed. This is how the church originally did things. Protestantism comes along, which Protestantism is just a Nordic supremacy separatist movement. I'll make a video later because that's demonstrably true. That would then wipe out complete cultures and not assimilate anything into them. But the legends and the history of the pre-Christianized Celts of Ireland had their history recorded, and same with Scotland or Pictland that became Scotland, and it wasn't until the Anglo-Saxons, which had invaded from Denmark and Germany and Sweden, had started becoming Latinized, that there was kind of when there was a competition between Odinism, a form of Reformed Norse religion, which was called Odinism, and Latin Rite, Papal Christianity, and or Catholicism and Gaelic Catholicism, that the Latins strong-armed the Gaelic people, but the Gaelic people knew that these initial missionaries were educated in Rome, so they said, "Oh, we're finally getting in contact with them." But the commerce had spread such that Ireland was in the time when the Western Roman Empire had collapsed, Ireland was a shining beacon of light. And there's actually multiple books about how the Celts saved civilization, how they actually had to be brought back into Italy to teach proper Latin and Greek to people living in Rome, in the papal areas that I don't know if they were still part of the Byzantine Empire at the time or if they had become they gained autonomy, but that's another story. Hospitals and science, all of science. Galileo was one incident, and it's wildly conflated. The Spanish Inquisition is because of the church, which, if you actually know the facts about the Spanish Inquisition, and know that 99% of what people think they know about the Spanish Inquisition is myths made up by the racist white Anglo-Saxon Protestants as anti-Hispanic and anti-Catholic bigotry. There was no torture ever used. 700 people were executed, not by burning, not by anything like that, over a 400-year period in Hispanic Spain. In just a 50-year period, 150,000 men and women were burned for being witches in the Protestant countries. In just 50 years. So you had 750 over a 400-year period, and 150,000 people being burned alive, just burned at the stake, not just killed. There were more people killed for being witches in the Protestant nations, just in a 50-year period. I'm going to continue this on part 2, but let me just St. Jude, the Mayo Clinic. 150 people a year in Chicago at just one hospital alone. The Catholic Church pays their full bill of cancer for cancer. Catholic Charities. My sister's friend works with Catholic Charities at a battered women's shelter. 100% supported by the Roman Catholic Church. All right, guess I'll make a part 2 to this, because this is mainly dealing with Dillahunty. So, no, the organization, I'm not a Roman Catholic, by the way. I actually believe it's a heretical organization. It's Christian, but it has become heretical. But it still did a lot of good, and it still is doing good. I think right now it's in the crappiest state. But even the sexual abuse charges are less than any other religious organization, and were actually dealt with and exposed by people within the Catholic Church. And many other organizations, except the Eastern Orthodox, the Oriental Orthodox, the Jains, and the Zoroastrians. Peace to you, and I'll go on to part 2.